Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for giving up your Saturday to come to Att10tive Show for today. My name is Montel Newville. I'm not going to be your host for today. I've got two fantastic people who will be doing that on our behalf. We're not expecting a fire. If we do, we will go out of this door. We will gather by turning to the right at the end of the corridor. As we go out onto your right here, there are toilets for anybody who's using the theatre. Also, there's toilets next door to the west side where later on you all will have access to some wonderful food. Okay. But without no further ado, over to you.
It's starting, goodness.
Hello, I'm Ari and this is Shauna. Hi. And we would like to welcome all of you to our event, One Luton, in conjunction with Luton in Harmony.
Over the past few months, we've been working on putting together a program which we hope you'll enjoy and remember. Tell your friends and your colleagues about what you've seen today, including me.
Today we will show you images of Luton through our own eyes. We have poetry, we have dancing, and we have food because, of course, we all love a little bit of food. We'll show you videos made by Luton Tigers and the Many Voices One Town campaign.
We also have Luton Urban Radio, if anyone fancies being on the radio. We'll also have a performance from our partners, the Next Generation Youth Theatre.
I would now like to tell you what the timetable is for today. So we will begin now until 1 p.m. We'll have entertainment. 1 p.m. to 1:45 food and networking, 1:45 and 3 p.m. part 2. We do really hope that you can stay for the duration, but if you really can't, you may be able to sleep away during the food and networking. However, you're going to have to miss a fantastic part 2.
So without any further delay, we give you BLK.
Como crujía antes de caerse al suelo, ya sabía que se rompía. Está parpadeando la luz del descansillo. Una voz de la escalera, alguien cruzando el pasillo. Malamente, sí, sí, malamente. Mira, malamente, más que toma, que malamente. Malamente. Aunque no está bonita, la noche NGYT voy a salir para la calle, la bonita, los aros brillando en mi piel, los corales, que protejan me salve, me iluminen, me guarden y por delante. No voy a perder ni un minuto en volver a pensar. We try to make it stupid. We try to make it stupid. Sometimes there's no regrets, but going no more. I guess we try to make it stupid.
Hey yo, sit out and got you, my nigga.
Tem Luton, né? Botar você quando venero se comporta assim, chefe. Assim você quando pede se comporta. Mata meu filho, mata meu filho, chefe. Tá na hora do boi que guaça, chefe. Olha nos ativei, quadradinho chinês, guaça, chefe. Olha a mamada fronteira, se esconde já vivo mangueira, guaça, chefe. Eu quis que fumaçaria piu na janela. Guaça, chefe, se sexta, a sexta cheia, todo dia festa. Guaça, chefe. Pitbull americano, nego, guaça, chefe. Pra morder mais. Tá brincando. Você quando quer me ver se comporta. Por quê? Mata.
And it goes a little something like this. Oh my God! J.O.P. Let's go! Ho. Couple rubber band, couple stop then. Couple rubber band, couple stop then. Up in the street, we are drop there. J.O.P. We are gonna fuck up a party tonight, you just watch. Tonight we feel like spend some cash. Cool on the Benz, just watch. If a Givenchy shoes, then the belt must match. Gucci loafers with a tough top. But they no fickle thicker than a blood clot. Who you know, I'm a belly with a touch back. When a bad sound clear, we say pull it up back. Everybody shout, yeah. Push, load, rum, drunk, yo, we a wild out and a shout, yeah.
Ogedembe, ìrẹ́ni kò mọye, ìsàlẹ̀ kò, ìnòdè fọmọlé, rọ̀dá ní tàfi, ṣé ní wọ̀wáwé, àṣírí ẹ̀kọ́, ó ti tú lójú ewé, kò séwé, kò sépò, kò séwé, kò sépò, kò séwé, kò sépò, kò séwé, kò sépò, wọ́n ti kó omi gọ́tà pọ̀, omi ti dẹ̀rtì, wọ́n ti kó kẹ́míkà pọ̀. Wọ́n ti kó omi gọ́tà pọ̀, ojú ti dẹ̀rtì, wọ́n ti kó kẹ́míkà pọ̀, àwọn science students. Òṣòlè àti bẹ́ẹ̀ àṣírí, eruku ti pọ̀ ju àṣírí tú. Afẹ́fẹ́ fẹ́ àti rí fúnra ọmọdé alẹ́ ṣọ́kọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ṣẹlẹ̀ àṣírí tú. Gàdíjà ṣẹ́wọ̀ òun ò lọ́kọ̀ ìwọ ọmọ tí wọ́n mi rán lọ sábà. Gàdíjà ṣẹ́wọ̀ òun ò lọ́kọ̀ ìwọ ọmọ tí dáàdì rán lọ sábà. Ọ̀rẹ́ mi you dey okay, you dey alright, are you sure? Lórí bó ṣe ń gbẹ́sẹ̀ ìyówó èmi ò láṣẹ francoshan. Gàdíjà sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀dí kárí bí ó fa ṣíṣà bí ṣọ̀gbó kabalẹ̀ rí bí. Ẹ̀lúkú mẹ́dẹ́mẹ́dẹ́ tramadol ló mú bí tọ́ní kọta yìí. Kò séwé, kò sépo, kò séwé, kò sépo, kò séwé, kò sépo, kò séwé, kò sépo. Wọ́n ti po omi gọ́tà pọ̀, omi ti dẹ̀rẹ̀tì. Wọ́n ti po kẹ́míkà pọ̀, àwọn sáyẹ́nsì student. Bámẹ̀, nápẹ̀, nápẹ̀.
Mike, oh, thank you. You guys were really good. I can't dance, I suck, but you guys were great. So that was nice. We haven't got any more people. See, now you have to do the walk of shame because you came in late. But anyway, so next we have Luton, we have a photo montage. We have some talented photographers on our team, so they took pictures of Luton, and we're going to see some of them now. So what does Luton look through the eyes of Lutonians? So you'll see that right now. I'm not going to dance for you.
Okay, so after seeing so many beautiful pictures, I would like to introduce you to Habiba, who will now be talking about her experiences in Luton, in the beautiful city we've just seen. So yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Habiba. I hope everyone has enjoyed the event so far. So I was born and raised here in Luton and currently study at Luton College where we are today. And I just wanted to share some of my experiences growing up here, people I've met, and how Att10tive has made me realise all the different kind of beauties around Luton as well as the beauties within the people here. So I grew up in a part of Luton that was predominantly brown Asian. So growing up, that was kind of what I knew. In my secondary school, I went to Denby High School, that was the majority of the population. So when I met Montel, I was about 14, 15, and from working with Att10tive from that age, I grew an exposure to lots of different, not only ethnicities and religions, but also people from different professional backgrounds. So, such as Montel, he does a lot of work with the police and the scrutiny panel. I got to be introduced to all of them, see what they do, and it made me grow an admiration for lots of different professionals. Also, when I transitioned to the sixth form, it's a huge college with over 2,000 students. There was everyone of different shapes, colours, sizes, backgrounds and upbringings. So I got to gain a lot of exposure to that as well. And from working with Att10tive, there's been multiple different events. One of them, you might have seen some pictures from the montage, was Community Cohesion through Cuisine, which was about a year and a half ago. And through that, we had a stand up in George's Square in the mall on the outside. And I was handing out free food from different ethnic backgrounds. And from there, I got to see lots and lots of different people from the community coming in, getting the food, and also I got to talk to them and hear some of their experiences. And it really shed some light on how people here, you may not be able to see it just by looking at them, but some have been brought up and raised here, like myself, but some have travelled long and travelled far and gone through lots of hardships to get to where they are today. So I think my experiences in Luton, the majority of them has taught me to talk to people and to gain some insight by knowing people like from their inside, and by sharing your journey and by listening to their journeys. There's a lot of education in that, and it really helped me to broaden my horizons on what our lovely town is today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Habiba. I know it's really nerve-wracking being up here, and it's really nice of you to share your experience with us. So I'm going to recite a poem, and the poem is called Earning Lazy. I wrote this about a year and a half ago, and I was at home, and it was one of those days where it was sunny, which was rare. And I thought, you know what, it's so rare, let's write a poem about this. And I did, so here's that. Today seems like one of those lazy days. Barely any signs of life, but enough around to let you know that people still exist. Distant sounds of music, planes flying overhead and birds chirping at the arrival of a long-awaited spring. Today is Saturday, lazy day, like people have nowhere in particular to be. Maybe, somewhere, two grandparents are drinking fresh squeezed lemonade and reminiscing about the good old days. Maybe somewhere kids are playing in the street like they used to. Phones, tablets, and TVs collecting dust. Their parents are talking about when they first met and how awkward it was, but why they wouldn't change that for the world. Tonight, they'll go out to Nando's for the first time in 5 years. Some students will abandon textbooks and question sheets, substitute answers for pleasure, and walk to Wardown Park, lie on overgrown grass and talk about what they want to be when they grow up. They'll trace up the heavens with their growing hands, guessing at the shapes of white and candy floss that seemed so close. The sky always seemed so close. Before midnight,
Middle-aged men will crowd into modern-day taverns and use football as an excuse to talk about their day. Somewhere, a mother and her family are driving on a stretch of motorway. They can no longer remember where they are going. Somewhere, on a straight shoreline near a pier, two friends are feasting on fresh fish and chips. They wave to people they don't know. Laughter ringing up and down the open sea in another continent. A woman is reading a novel. Actually, she is in between dozing and sleep. Each one of them, complex in their lives and dreams, today have earned lazy.
Stop it. Stop. Goodness. You guys are making me blush. Ugh. So, now we'll have a speaker, Laura Church. Where are you? You're here. Here's the mic, Laura.
So it's already been an inspiring session. I think we're just in the afternoon. Really great to see what people think about the town that I'm passionate about. So I'm Laura Church, I'm the interim chief exec at Luton Borough Council. I've worked here for 30 years, and actually I've seen loads of changes, and I've seen a town that is really beginning to change and be ambitious and want to achieve lots. And this morning, or this afternoon, I've really seen what you're all contributing to that. So it's been great to see the photo montage. I think the photos looked great of the town hall, great of the council chamber, and even better when we had local democracy going on with the councillors talking about big issues for our town. So some of the things that I can see changing around our town are the way that communities get along. All of your photos showed happy people having a fun time. And I always think back to the happy video of that song, and that's what I think. So I always think of Luton and really great and having a great time. Lots of things to do, lots of things that we are changing. So things that are important for us at the moment are all around skills and aspiration. So the council's investment framework is looking at how we create new homes for people, how we create jobs and opportunities, and how we get local people an opportunity to get into employment. And I think from what I've seen this afternoon, you as young people and what you're doing are really going to make Luton a fantastic place in the future. So thank you for inviting me, and also Robin Porter is here, he's the Deputy Chief Exec at Luton, to listen to what you have to say. The photo montage gave loads of pictures of how I see Luton, so I'd like to use some of those photos in the future if you could share them. They are fantastic. So I look forward to hearing a little bit more during the rest of the session. Thank you.
Thank you. You almost stole my mic.
Thank you for that. I will now like to introduce Cy Phil with what Luton is to me. So please give him a warm welcome.
Hi there, you're right. Sorry people, I'm going to be doing this poem now. Can you stop that for 1 minute for me, please? You're a little bit early for me. My name's Cy Philly, I'm an artist from Luton. I'm just going to be performing this poem that I did about a couple of years ago, and I haven't performed it since then, so I'm going to be reading it from my phone, so bear with me on this. Are you ready? Luton. I wrote this little rhyme about Luton, the town that's always last in the charts and its people keep disputing. Luton. Some people say the place is a cesspit, and I'm so glad that I left it. I listen to these skeptics and I feel why they stressed it. They say that L-Town's one of the baddest of places, and it's been ravaged by radical Islamics and racists without pillowcases on their faces, like it's something that we see on a regular basis. The town is full of bad manners with The town is full of mad hatters with bad manners, with crime on every corner, and it's full of mad scammers. From the postcode wars that we see on the street to the homeless people that sleep on its streets. It's changing with greeting all the people we meet. And we've come a long way since the pink flamingos and brown seats. From Marsh Farm to Lucy Farm, we need to stop this stupid harm. It's time to bring back Luton's calm and give us all some sense of calm. From Colin Salmon to Monty Panacea and Paul Young, and all of them are proud of this town that we've come from. And now they say that my town is just humdrum, so we can't allow all this hard work to be undone. From the best carnival once a year to the worst article on the sphere, I look back and I try and think, how did we get here? But we are Luton. From the workers of Vauxhall at IBC to the players and fans at LTFC. We've dealt with the worst and we've lifted the curse. And from now Luton Town will be listed as first. And some of you may still hate it, but it's just a town that I care for. I love living in Luton Town, and it's more than just an airport. Peace.
Thank you. That was truly a beautiful insight in what we have in Luton. I would now like to introduce yet another amazing performance by BLK. So here it is. Give them a warm welcome.
Oh, come on, man.
Where all the girls at with the credit cards and the high heels? The Mercedes Benz with the big wheels. When they hit this jam, they can't sit still. Yeah, they know what's up. Where all the girls at with the Birkin bags and the big house? The Mercedes Benz with the tits out. When they hit this jam, they turn the lights out. Yeah, they know what's up.
Yo, girlfriend, you hear me?
Who's this?
People want tea. Y'all be a word at you. You want to see her again? Make you want it top.
You're never gonna get my mom.
Got the shotty more thing with the phone.
No girl can't tell me about my mother. 16 shots, we go longer than another. Them nothing talk, but they real done that. Put body in a pot, them a bun like grabber. No boy can't diss me or my mother. Round here inside, everybody need ammo. 16 shots, we go shot in the brother. You're gonna be better than a King's Tony. This my mother, then your skin start bleed. So don't bother mess with my mommy. With my mommy, with my mommy. If I take your bad, say you're better than she. Not a go back long time, then don't eat. Rap and pop off, make you move like freak. They say them a gangster, but so is mommy. They gon' put hands on the kid. They gon' put hands on the kid.
grade me was tired of #1. You know I used to beat that block. Now I bees the block.
Let me upgrade. I hear you be the block, but I'm the like to keep the streets on. No, this true the type that like to keep them on the leash, though. I'm known to walk alone, but I'm alone for a reason. Sending me a drink ain't appeasing, believe me. Come harder, this won't be easy. Don't doubt yourself, trust me, you need me. This ain't a shoulder with a chip or an ego. But what you think they all mad at me for? You need a real woman in your life, taking care home and still fly. And I'ma have to build up your account. Believe in me, playing in the big meetings for the meals. Take me just to compliment the deal. And anything you come up with the bill. Believe in me. Why not let me upgrade your autumn replicate? You're switching necktie to purple labels. Upgrade you. Can I up? Let me upgrade you. Let me upgrade you. Flip a new page. Introduce you to some new things and upgrade you. Can I up? Let me upgrade you.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
I'm in my prime, optimist, Sagittarius, so you know I'm an optimist. Man, keep it all real, I'm a prophetess. So at least you took a L off your bucket list. It's time to make hits and it's time to diss. How you still diss and still can't find some hits? Was it worth it, dummy? I ain't mind a bit. Still on that show, getting no chips, time to dip. I'm still fly, just got the white guy. Richie like guy, and I still eat Thai. Want the nigga cheap code? Come on, sis, nice try. Let's be real, well my children wanna look like me. When the beat and demand get cooked like me. When I run up in the lab and cook like me. But ain't me and you girls cooking good like me. Cookie so good as ex wanna still fight me. They so pretty, sissy wish she kissed like me. She just mad cause he never bought her ice like me. I cut all my hitters off, they would still wife me. White chickens tell they team make them like Barbie. Had to come off IG so they can't stalk me. All they do is copy looks, still music too. Want to see what chickens do when they lose the blueprint. I mean a blueprint, so let it sink in. I spoke to Jay the other day, he's still a kingpin. He's still the only hitter that I would've signed to. If I ain't signed a Wayne perfectly designed crew.
Real quick, just because I didn't hear you, can you just cheer one more time for me, please? Sorry, my hearing's really bad. I still can't hear you. Can you cheer really loud for me, please? Alright, I think that we can still top it just a little bit louder for me, please. Okay, alright, guys, you don't need to be so loud. Okay. So, next, I believe we have a video. Many Voices, One Town, and then we'll hear a word from Councillor Khan.
There's something quite infectious about Luton.
This town it's got something special.
So much talent coming out of Luton, it's unbelievable.
Visual artists, filmmakers, theatre makers. There's so much happening.
I always knew about the carnival because living in Luton, it's really hard to miss. We do our costumes and everyone will help each other. Don't care who's from where. We're uniting as a town.
You can get kids playing sports and keep them off the streets. We've got people from 19 different backgrounds that came and played in the tournament. You can always learn about someone else's backgrounds while they do things in a different way to you. It's great.
The Next Generation Youth Theatre is a youth theatre and dance company. We want people to be proud of Luton. It brings people together.
Postcodes shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
Being put into the care system, I wanted to work with young people. I just see myself as somebody who's got the time to listen. Just having a conversation with a young person is the way to build confidence. I like to give back to the community because the community has helped me.
There's nothing better than giving back. I know how it is when you're on rock bottom. So when there's someone there who's been through what you've been through, kids can see like, from wherever they are, it's possible to do what they want to do.
Luton Town Football Club, we do a lot for the community. We get young people mixing at an early age. If you put a football down, it's like the glue that sticks people together.
That's one thing I love about Luton. You see different communities, different backgrounds just coming together.
I'm making my family proud. Seeing my mum smile is the only thing I want to see.
My job is really, really simple, and it's to make sure that young people are heard.
You being a positive role model can have an effect on younger people and people that have a respect for you.
You look at Lutonian, they're proper proud, they love Luton, like, do you know what I mean? That's a proper Lutonian.
I'm a Luton girl.
Many voices.
Many voices.
Many voices.
One town.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Councillor Aslam Khan and I'm the portfolio holder for Stronger Communities. I certainly relate to those video clips and also the journey that Habiba spoke. I moved to this town in 1981. I was pretty young. It was on Beach Road, and that was at a time when we had the peak of hooliganism right next to the football town, and I used to be told not to go out on a Saturday, whether it's shopping, whether it's walking to the town or playing any sports, and there was a real fear. That when I went to school and started mixing with everyone else, and over time slowly that fear went away. And today I wouldn't be the person that I am if I hadn't lived in Luton. I've become much stronger, a much diverse person, and today's audience really reflects that strength and diversity of Luton. And our vision for the town is to make sure that everyone feels inclusive and feels proud of our town. And that can only happen through events like today. And I'd really like to thank Montel for organizing and putting up a great show. I've been blown away by some of the performances. We wouldn't have this music if we didn't have that diversity. We wouldn't have had those dance moves, because if you reflect back in the 80s, people wouldn't have been dancing like that. We wouldn't be eating the food that we are eating now, and we wouldn't be dressing the way we are dressing. And Luton is very, very unique in this, and sometimes we don't get those great stories coming through. And our campaign, Many Voices, One Town, is designed to promote that equality and diversity that we believe in, and those values that we believe in, standing up for prejudice, standing up for hatred, standing up for extremism. And you all are our ambassadors, and food, sports, and music brings people together. And you would have seen through council the kind of events that we've been organizing, whether it's the carnival, whether it's street parties, whether it's Christmas lights or fireworks. We have a strategy which promotes that equality and also creating an environment where everyone come together. And so I'd like to thank Near Neighbours and Montel for doing that great work. We have our CLLD funding program with sports organizations. So if anyone wants to sort of come and get involved, please come forward. There's Sandra here, who's our chief officer, who can certainly help you and to support those applications. So carry on doing the great work, especially the young ambassadors. You are a future of our town, and you're doing great work, and we expect much more from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I guess through your story we can really see how Luton has developed throughout the years. Now, if you recall, Habib, we were talking about sharing food from around the world in Luton. That happened a year and a half, I think you said. We would like to show you the video of how that went, so you guys can see for yourself how much we're working to make Luton as good as it is.
So it's really nice to see just how food brings people together. I know perhaps in our country this is considered a luxury, but my mum actually comes from the Caribbean. And her way of connecting to people and understanding people is through food. In our family, food is a language. It's how you get to know somebody, what they like and what they dislike, how you season their food. So it's interesting to see just how cuisine reflects just how diverse our culture is. So that was a lovely video that we just saw. Now we're going to see another video, I believe, from the Luton Tigers, and we're going to have a word from them as well. Oh, sorry, a presentation.
Hi, my name is Shaz Zaman from Luton Tigers. I'm not going to do any dancing or anything like that. Well, I was going to do originally a presentation, and Montel's given me a bit of time, so if you run the presentation, I'll talk it through at the same time and give you an idea of what Luton Tigers have been doing over the last 2 years now. Will work. I used to dance like all these young people earlier on when I was younger. So it's nothing new to me. So, we are Luton Tigers. We're an organisation, a local charity, been running now about three years now. If you want to, I'll just do this. So, unique organisation created by the people of Luton, for the people of Luton. Our town has a beautiful history of diversity and multiculturalism. Join us in celebrating this incredible heritage, whatever your background, belief, look, age or gender. As long as you live in Luton, you're part of Luton Tigers. So I was born in Luton. My parents came over to Luton, my dad came over in 1958, He married my mum a week before he came over. They never saw each other again for 7 years. Then my mum come over. My mum and dad made this their home, and they're buried at Stopsky. So that's my connection with this town. So yeah, as a charity, we work hard to protect our kids from radicalisation, extremism, racism. From sports classes to school workshops, our exciting activity empowers children of all backgrounds to find their own voice. We believe in critical thinking is the key to make them understand that we may all look different, but in reality we're all alike, because what truly matters isn't our differences, it's our common Lutonian identity. And we emphasise that in all the schools we work with. And later on I'll show you how many schools we work in, how many young people we work with every year. Okay, so we ran a campaign last year, ran for about 6 months, where we had films come out. The poem that Cy Philly did, we released that on our Facebook page. It's one of the highest ones that we've done, nearly coming up to nearly 200,000 views on that video itself. The films that we've done last year, we've had over 500,000 views. For a small organisation from Luton, I think that's good, because some of those videos and stories went as far as Scotland and as far south as Bournemouth. I don't understand the Bournemouth bit. I thought it would go a bit further down. But this is what we try and show as an organisation, what we are. Normally I'd have a clicker. So we want to create, and this is all related to young people here. This is what we want to create as an organisation. A town where young people's voices are nurtured, where people dare to sing, which you haven't sung yet, have you? So there might be someone to sing later, yeah? Dance and find unique ways of expressing who they are, and understand that they can change the world. And that's the important thing around what we try and do with young people, say that you can change things. You know, we've had a go, we haven't done it too well, but you can. Right, next one, after that one. Right, if you play this video, this is one of our young people and one of our films. You'll have to go, scroll across to your right a bit.
I've been in Luton for my whole life. Born in Luton, raised in Luton. When people see me in the street, they might just see a Muslim. It is what I am, to be fair. I just think there's more to it than just Muslim full stop. It's a small piece of a big puzzle. My main passion is always been football. When you really get to know someone, you can break down the stereotype that you first had about that individual. When I'm playing football, it's a bit of a shock to people sometimes, but then they realise she's just like all of us. Football is one part of me, but there's many parts to me.
So, how many of you have seen that film? Wow, not a lot. So all of you need to go on our Facebook page or our YouTube page, and you'll see this film. We might have to relaunch that. So we're talking about what we do. We're in 2 high schools, 4 primary schools, 1 training centre, 3 sports clubs, 2 voluntary organisations. When we say high schools and schools, we're in each school half a day, 1 day a week, every term, every year. So we've been running this for 3 years. So constantly we're talking, our message is there constantly with these young people. So formal education, 16 formal education sessions per week, 13 sports sessions per week. 2,770 young people in education and training we reach every year. 1,270 of them are between age 11 and 20, 1,500 between 7 and 10. 174 young people a week engaged through sports, 416 young people a week engaged in targeted work. We're also a lead partner in the European Partners Exchange Network in Europe, which is really regarding countering extremism, radicalisation. We're actually the only organisation, 2 organisations from England are there. We're one of them, and they're just publishing a book about the good practice because they believe that we lead on good practice. So I know I'm talking about how good we are, but we are what we're doing at the moment. So anyway, when you look at that, it looks like a lot of work, and only 4 of us do all this. So that is good for Luton. We're doing some good stuff. Let's go. Keep going. This is just a montage of photos. This film is a film celebrating our Black History Month. When you do Black History Month, it's about covering everywhere. We wanted to do something that related to Luton. And if you play this one, I'll be gone soon.
I don't think the younger generation at all really know what we went through as black footballers or black coaches.
I'm here today to learn about the experiences that the older generation would have had to go through, which would have been much harder than what we're facing today.
First day I walked into the dressing room, 3 players said to me, "Who do you think you're, sorry, who the F do you think you are?"
There was always like a stereotypical thing about how black players were lazy, didn't work hard enough, etc. I remember playing, one of the opposition just completely racially abused me from the start of the game to the finish of the game. But I didn't react, I just let the football do the talking. I remember after the game walking off the pitch and getting a standing ovation.
The older generation have definitely helped us to push things forward and break down barriers.
Events like these are absolutely fantastic because it just highlights, there's so many talented young black footballers, black coaches, and it just shows that, yeah, we can do it.
It's our jobs now to spread our knowledge and what we know onto the younger generations, and events like today are definitely doing that.
These are some of the posters that we run, poster campaign we run. So this one really I quite like because it's acknowledging the mix of this town from perspectives. I could have put maybe 30, 40 young people in there going through all, but I'll put the ones that when I was growing up, these would have, so you've got a Bengali, young man on the left, Pakistani, mixed heritage, dual heritage, white, Afro-Caribbean. These were young people from our town. And the reason we put this video, I like this, because it acknowledges that we have a Muslim community in our town, Jumma Perez, if anyone knows. Everyone, well, all these kids seem to think Nike Airs are fashionable. I like Adidas, because that's where I come from. And a good old British tradition on a Friday, chips, fish and chips. So we try to do that. If you flick through now, I've got 4 or 5 posters. This is our website. So anyone who doesn't know anything about us, go on to www.lutontigers.co.uk, Luton Tigers on Facebook, Luton Tigers on Twitter, and Luton Tigers on Instagram. We have got an Instagram account, we? Yeah, but I've never used it, so I don't know how to do that. So you can flick through there, go on there, find out more what we do, get engaged, get active, be out there, make the change, make it happen. You can make it happen. If you just flick through now so everyone has a quick look, and then I'm gone. Keep pressing. This is an important one. We're actually in partners now with Mongoose Cricket, who actually supply cricket equipment to the England women's team. So they've provided us with access to equipment that we're going to be working with our next project that's running from April this year to March next year, which will involve more sports. But you know what? Thank you, Montel. Thank you to the young people. I still think I could have done some better moves than that, but I won't. But thank you. Well done, all of you. Well done. Thank you.
Wow, thank you for sharing your experiences. I was waiting for you to bust a move, but you didn't. Yeah, that was really nice. Especially just acknowledging how diverse we are and how multicultural we are, and you sharing your own story. So thank you. And you said there's not been any singing, so yeah, it's not happening, guys. Sorry. So now we have a break, and you get some food from around the world. And I need you back here at 1:30. 1:30, because if you aren't back, I will find you, and there will be problems. Okay, maybe not. Maybe they might have to throw me out. I'm a bit too aggressive today. But thank you. Hopefully you enjoyed the first part. Can we have a round of applause for all of the performers that we had? Thank you. And I'll see you back here at 1:30. Destiny.
Today, we've got some performances from NGYT. NGYT in the building. And we also had a little bit of poetry. And if you're really good, I might sing. You don't want to do that. You don't want to hear any of this. So we'll be starting back shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your patience. I mean, Shauna said half past, and this is atrocious. She said she would come find you. I mean, she's worse than Taken, you know what I mean? You don't seen Taken, right? Taken 1, 2, 3. She's 4, 5, and 6 rolled into one. I'm not playing. I will find you. No, I won't say that. PG-13. Sure. We're ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Ari and Shauna.
Yeah, so welcome back. I was a bit busy talking, so I didn't come and find you. I didn't keep my promise. I apologize. But now we have facts from Kevin. Facts.
Quick facts.
Yay! You got facts for us. Oh my goodness, I love facts. Let's have some facts. Yay!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I've been speaking for the last 5 minutes, in case you didn't work it out. First, can you give a round of applause for Ari and Shauna? This is one of their first hosting gigs. They're doing an amazing job. So I usually get rolled out at these events just to talk crap, basically, for a couple of minutes, which is really good. But I've got some great facts for you today. I haven't learned them all, so I've got my phone. Don't judge me, if that's all right. So, I'll start first because Luton, you may know, Luton was known as like the centre of the hat and straw making industry. Everyone aware of that? Yeah, cool. Obviously, hats ain't the big thing right now made out of straw. There's still some manufacturers today in the Luton area making them, but Luton is still a large hub for business, just in general. You're aware of Vauxhall, obviously. Vauxhall used to manufacture majority of their home and commercial cars in Luton during the 50s up until about the 1980s. Still commercial cars are being made today in the manufacturers just down the road, and there's something up to about 30,000 people employed there still. You may also be aware of the Whitbread Brewery, some of you? Some of us, I don't know. So again, something that we're not doing at the moment, but Whitbread is still in existence, and they actually own the entities Premier Inn, which you're aware of. They own a number of restaurants like Beefeater, the Table, Whitbread Inns. They have a new restaurants called Bar and Block that are in city centres around the UK, and they used to own Costa as well. I say used to because they literally sold it 3 months ago for £3.2 billion. I'm going to do that again. £3.2 billion. They sold it to Coca-Cola. So yeah, Luton, we're awesome. If I go way back, early settlements of the Luton area can be traced back about 250,000 years ago, but the town that we know today roughly sprung up due to a Saxon settlement on the River Lee around about 700 AD. So that's another fact for you. I'm going to skip time because everything in between that's quite boring. You've got the World War and all that jazz. Just joking. Before that though, 1847, the first town hall was built in Luton Town Centre. I say the first town hall for a reason. I'll come back to that later. In 1885, does anyone know what happened? Luton Town Football Club was founded in 1885. What's their nickname? The Hatters, because we used to make hats on my days. It all links up. We're crazy. The club's history includes major trophy wins, promotions, relegations, relegation, and actually quite recent string of successes. We've just been promoted to League One. Let's get to the Premiership. We probably won't make it. In 1904, after numerous owners, the Wardown estate was purchased by Luton Council, and they made it into the park that it kind of is today with the lake, and they threw some swans and geese in there, I guess, and that's really nice as well. Now, when I said before about the first town hall, during the weirdly named peace riots in 1919, a load of people just burnt it down. I thought it'd be fun. This is actually a really interesting fact. I looked this up and I was like, this is hilarious. There's a Dr. John Doney, who actually used to teach here when this was Luton Grammar in the 1950s. He's supposed to have been the person who knocked out the last intact window. And he told his students that. Can you imagine this guy? You know, I knocked out that one. And just walked off and then taught history. I don't know, crazy. Anyway, it was rebuilt in 1936 and it still stands today. So far as I know, no Luton sixth form teachers or college students have tried to knock out any windows in the newest town hall. Anyway, in 1938, Luton International Airport opened. Yeah, how many people have used Luton Airport? It's now known as London Luton Airport, which is a crap name, should be just Luton. But it's actually right now the 5th busiest airport in the UK. I think it was close to 14 million passengers flew from Luton last year, so awesome. Central Library was built in 1962 and it still stands. I say that because there's been a number of closures of libraries around the UK and elsewhere as well in recent history. So the fact that we still got a Central Library and one in Leagrave and I think one other in, thank you. Go support your local libraries, please. Books are really important. We need them. We need you to support them. In 1972, the Arndale Centre opened and it was completed and people could come and buy stuff. That's been renamed as well to the mall, but we all know we're going to always call it the Arndale until the day we die. Okay, thank you. I just wanted to see that. 1976 was really important as well, for me and for a lot of people in the room personally. Do you know why? No. I'm not that old, damn. 1976 was the year of the very first Luton Carnival. Yes! Oh yeah, I remember that day. Some of you don't, it's okay. But yeah, Luton Carnival is actually the largest single-day carnival in the UK and possibly Europe as well. It may have been surpassed by one of those ones in Germany. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, it's a big thing. It's a massive melting pot of culture. And if you get a chance, go there. It's real fun. Stockwood Park Museum. Everyone been there as well? That was opened in 1986. Later reopened as the Discovery Centre in 2008 as a part of a £6 million redevelopment, and it is really nice up there. Although, side note, they just changed the ice cream there. I don't like it. So if anyone from Stockwood is here, can you change it back, please? And the Wi-Fi doesn't work. So if you're here, Stockwood, can you sort that out? Wi-Fi, ice cream, not necessarily in that order. I want ice cream first. The ice cream was nice. And they got it, anyway, sorry, I got upset. In 1998, the Galaxy Centre opened. Not really much to say about that. It's still the centre of everything I do. I'm like, yeah, let's go cinema, Galaxy. You know what? I feel like Nando's, Galaxy. This is the place to be. This is the place to be. And then in 1999, due to the success of Luton Airport Parkway was built as a way to get more people, passengers, to and from the airport. So that's my facts, but I wanted to go into a little bit of culture because there was a substantial wave of immigration to Luton specifically, especially in the 20th century. Now there's communities in Luton from Scotland, Ireland, the Caribbean, South and East Asia, and more recently Eastern Europe that really make Luton the nice place that it is to live today. But there's some misconceptions that come with that as well. So I wanted to ask you some questions and see if I can drill down to how people feel. Exactly. What do you think is Luton's? What do you think Luton's population mostly identify as in terms of religion? Christian. What do you think the percentage is? Huh? 45? That is actually correct. 46% of people in Luton identify as Christian. Well done, you. Jeez, I thought I was going to come out and someone's going to go, 5! Something like that. If you look at the other mix, about 25% of the population identify as Muslim. About 1% identify as Jewish or Hindu or Sikh or some other denominations. And 16% say they don't have a religion, which is where I fall as well. The most spoken language in Luton is English. What do you think is second? Indian? There is no Indian language, but there are languages in India, huh? Punjabi, Bengali, Gujarati, Boski, Polish. Polish is actually third. I'll give you that. What's second? Urdu. Urdu is the second most spoken language. What? Look, 2-2. Urdu out here. But funny enough, Urdu and Polish combined only make up 4% of the spoken language. So the majority, vast majority, is English. Now, that's his first language. Yeah. First language. Right. Population. In 1801, there were around about 3,000 people living in Luton. By about 1850, it went up to over 10,000. By 1901, there was almost 39,000 people. So in 100 years, about 38,000 people came to Luton. What do you think the population is now? Huh? 241,000, 220,000. Who else? The number officially as of 2017 is just over 210,000, but it's probably different now. It's probably different as in 2019. Another 30,000 people like, yeah, Luton, it's the place to be. Anyway, my last thing before I leave you and we'll move on to the next thing. Luton is twinned with 3 towns across 3 different countries. Can you name me the 3 countries? Germany, there's 3 towns in Germany that we're linked with. What are the other 2? Holland, you say? Amsterdam? I said country, not city, but it was a good try. Spain? Close. Spain was close. France is 1. Sweden is the 3rd country, yes. France, Sweden, and Germany. We are twinned with 5 countries, 5 cities in those countries. That's all the facts that I had. Quick facts. I hope you enjoyed my facts. If you'd like more facts, Google them. I'm not here for you.
Okay, well, thanks for the interesting facts. facts, and I would now like to introduce Saif, who will be talking about a mysterious thing. So give him a warm welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. I promise to keep everything very short because I know that you guys need to return back to your wonderful lives. So normally, whenever I'm at an event listening to someone do a speech, or I'm at a presentation, or just listening to someone do a talk, I always hear them at the start saying, please turn your phones off, or put your phone on silent, or turn your notifications off. But you know what? Before you guys start putting your phones out, I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to tell you guys to record this speech, put it on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you guys use. And you know what? And one more thing, don't forget to hashtag my name as well. Let's see if you can get it to trending by the end of today. So anyway, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Saif Ali, and I'm a first year Luton sixth form student studying maths, economics. Why does everyone look so shocked when I said I'm a first year student? Is it because of the beard? Oh, let me tell you guys a little story. So in September, when I joined Luton sixth form, I joined about 2-3 weeks late, and that's because I started at a different college in Harpenden, so I transferred colleges. And on my induction, I came in wearing a suit because I thought it's completely normal to wear a suit, but I guess I was wrong. So on my induction, I'm sitting in the office, and 2 staff members approached me and they asked me, what subjects are you applying for? And I looked at them and I said, oh, I'm applying for maths, economics, chemistry, and physics. The lady was very shocked at this point. So she looked at me like this and she said, oh, I didn't know you can teach 4 subjects here. And I was like, miss, I'm not a teacher, I'm here to study those 4 subjects. There's been times when I've been at the train station and the train inspectors come up to me and ask me to show me an adult ticket, and I pulled out a child ticket at the age of 14 to 15. And I've been so close to getting fined, it's unbelievable. So I got so carried away with my stories, let me actually introduce and welcome you guys properly. So let me acknowledge parents, grandparents, mums, dads, teachers, uncles, aunties, and all the other relatives, except for those who didn't give us any money. Let me acknowledge all my loyal friends, except those who I owe money. And let me acknowledge teachers and administrators, those who are constantly borrowing my money. Moving on, what do I want to talk about today? Today I want to speak about high school. Now before I start speaking about high school, does anyone here want to share a story or anything that they remember from their high school? Okay. No one? Okay, I guess it's just a one-man show then. Anyway, what do I remember from high school? I remember thousands of pounds being spent on gyms but toilets with no doors. I remember stressed out teens running on 3 hours of sleep and a ton of coffee. I remember broken air conditioning, classrooms that feel like the pits of hell or either the Arctic. I remember hearing that Wikipedia isn't a reliable source, or that if someone dies in the final exams, then everyone gets an A. I remember hearing that if the teacher is 15 minutes late, then the whole classroom can leave. But one thing I still cannot understand is how the last 5 to 6 of my education has flown by that fast. It only seems like yesterday that as a year 7, I was being lovingly shoved into the lockers by the year 11s, getting pushed around and squashed around by the year 11s. But time went by. I grew up. I took a very high position of leadership in my school. And I can never, ever, ever imagine myself doing something so immature to the year 7s. Actually, I can't even remember doing anything immature in high school. And I'm sure it's like that for all the other teams as well. I'm not saying that any of us did anything immature during our high school years. I'm sure that no one got the Bunsen burners out in science and started burning rubbers, rulers, pencils, or whatever we could get our hands on. I'm sure that no one started mixing all these different acids and alkalis and nearly burned down the whole science department. I see a hand up. And I'm 100% sure that no one stole donuts from the tuck line in year 7, especially not me. No way. But let's admit, as a group, we've been through a lot. Educational institutions have been facing up a lot of budget cuts in the last few years, so we've learned to live with a lot of pain. Cutbacks to the sports budgets were painful. Reduced spending on the science department was painful. Reduced spending on the music department was painful. Seeing my favourite donuts go out of stock in the tuck line was painful. And the worst of all, walking into an English lesson with a blocked nose and then finding out that the English department had run out of tissues. Man, that was painful. As you can see, I have loved my high school experience, but there's one thing that I'm a little bit disappointed about. I'm disappointed that I didn't learn quite a lot of things in high school, things that I have to teach myself today, things that a lot of people don't ever learn. These are things that I have to teach myself about taxes, how to pay mortgages, how to understand the fundamentals of banking, how to build credit, or how to reduce your liabilities and increase your assets, or even how to build a CV or how to build your work experience up. But hey, at least I can tell you all about the Pythagoras theorem. And to end it all off, I just want to say that as young people of this town, I know that we're going to go up to achieve great things. I know it. I just know it. But no one knows exactly what our future is going to hold. There will be times when we experience self-doubt. And during times like this, let us remember that Albert Einstein was told that he's going to fail maths. He was told that he's never going to amount to anything. Let us remember that Oprah was a small-town journalist, or that Abraham Lincoln was defeated 8 times in presidential elections. Now, I know that I have a very long way to go, but even with myself, as a year 7, I was very shy as a person. And I was not that academic. I hated sports. But then I decided to change one day. And I actually played for Bedfordshire County for cricket for about 4 or 5 years, and I'm still playing for small town cricket teams. Up until year 10, I was told that I'm only going to get grade 4s and 5s in my GCSEs, but a few months of smart work and dedication, I was able to turn that all around and get the highest possible grade in all my subjects. And as of today, I am doing my A-levels right now, and I also started my own tutoring company. We started with about 20 students, and now we're nearly about hitting 50. So I think for me that's a very big achievement, and I only hope to go even more further. So to all the young people around me, if there is one thing high school has ever taught me, it is to never let anyone tell you that you can't. Everyone experiences setbacks. No one is posting their failures online. You see all these social media influencers trying to show you their amazing lifestyle, but they're not actually posting their failures. We must create a mindset where it doesn't allow us to fail or stop quitting, because we never have to doubt ourselves, because doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Thank you very much.
Say thank you for sharing your experience of high school. It was very motivational. I was teared up near the end. It was really nice of you. One thing I can say about high school is I actually started writing when I was in year 7. And I was writing a lot during that time period. It was kind of more, I was like going through an emo, angsty teen phase. So I used to write poetry for that. But I realized people do that. They get on stage and they share their poems with other people. Who knew? You don't have to write in a book by yourself. And see, and they're laughing because they're my friends and they encouraged me in high school to share what I'm passionate about with other people. And so I think, well, I always find the expression odd that when you're young, you're finding yourself. I'm like, when did I lose myself? I wake up feeling like I have all my faculties, but perhaps you're not finding yourself, but you're finding what you're passionate about and you're learning about the world. And so thank you for sharing your journey. So now we're going to have NGYT performing Paper Dance.
knees, keeping the villains at bay. Stop right there, Darth Vader.
Yeah!
I always wake up brightly. I reckon this for the day. But now I'm in my teens. I hold on to things for longer.
No one would notice. No one would see.
Later, I can't talk right now.
Honestly,
can you
downstairs.
say
I can't
sorry?
believe
I have
it.
like
Yeah.
3 exams today. This is
About to go, he says.
I don't care anymore.
I'm a little lost, and there isn't a map to guide me. But if I stopped, just for a while,
I'd see where I needed to be.
Yeah, sorry, I can't hear you. You're gonna have to come downstairs.
Didn't hear
What
you.
did you say?
I don't know.
What? It doesn't matter.
I'm about to
There's so much
leave.
today.
I've got this letter from school. I'm not upset, I just want to talk. It says your grades have been slipping. You seem distracted. Not quite yourself, is that right? You can talk to me. You know that, don't you? I just want you to be happy. I'm not unhappy. Just try your best. I am trying my best. You know, I still
Page
cannot
47.
believe that Nathan Jones left us for
Task
Stone.
2.
Does he have any brains? It doesn't make any sense.
Guys, can we please focus?
Lenny, do you actually have any mates?
I do.
Where are they then?
Not in this class, clearly.
Ignore her. She's just a weirdo. Lenny, no mates.
Dylan, a word.
A word.
What's gotten into you recently?
Nothing, sir.
Barely working, chatting, being mean to others? It's really not like you.
In all fairness, sir, you don't really know me.
I have a good idea. You'll be coming along to intervention after school. I'll be contacting your parents to let them know. See you at 3 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and I expect you'll want to apologise to Lenny. She'll be at
Sure.
intervention as well.
3 o'clock came, and unwillingly, Dylan went.
Thinking about the better ways the next hour could be spent.
Sorry needed to be said. He knew he was out of his line.
Made worse because they were mates before he stopped having time.
The first friend he made back in year 1.
They did everything together,
And it was always fun. Drawing, painting, making dens all afternoon.
Pretending they were superheroes, chasing the stars and the moon.
But when year 7 came, they stopped being close.
Dylan found a new group. Lenny seemed to have the most.
It all changed, just like that.
She keeps herself to herself.
He became a cool kid. I was left on the shelf.
You're right.
Yeah,
Sorry about earlier.
it's fine.
You know, I didn't mean it. I was just showing off.
I know, and it doesn't suit you.
Again, there it goes. Another person that just pretends to know me.
There it is. The barrier. Blocking out all the people that care about.
Sad stuff, really.
I did know you. Once upon a time. Nothing lasts forever, though.
I've grown up.
Are you sure? The Dylan I knew would never have treated me like that.
Or anyone. That necklace. I gave that to you. Why'd you still wear it?
Guess it makes me think of when we were little. Things were simpler.
Fluffier around the edges.
Time travelled at a snail's pace, so we could cram in more adventures.
It's the little things that make us who we are. The memories tucked up in the corners of our minds. Very nearly forgotten about, but still there.
When I was younger, I used to watch Come Dine With Me with my family. It was our thing.
I used to have to share my bed with about 1,000 different teddy bears.
There were these woods I used to run in after school, just to escape.
pictures of my dad before he left.
Playing Lego Star Wars on the computer with my parents.
Me and my granddad, we used to pretend we were Jedi warriors on a mission. My trampoline.
Looking at my old music books.
All Disney movies, but mostly Toy Story.
My first pair of football boots.
My old dressing gown. My scarves.
My lucky socks.
My grandma's chocolate pudding. But that stuff doesn't matter now because I've grown up.
You could learn a lot from your younger self, you know.
Brave, funny, loyal and kind.
That's the real you.
That's the you we like the most. So the question is, what will you do?
Will you be true?
Hi, thank you for the amazing performance. I would now like to introduce Adil, who will be doing some poetry, so give him a warm welcome, please.
So my name's Adil. I've been with Att10tive since September, and I just want to share a short poem with you. It's my first time doing poetry, so I'm not as on your level, Shauna. I'm going to give it a go. So, good afternoon, my name's Adil. I grew up on a farm, and this is my story. I come from the farm where people are kind, considerate, and they get it. The place is cleaner, and the grass is greener than the rest of the town. I come from the farm where the vibes are good, but the outsiders look down. The farm is where it happens. You make friends and frenemies like you never did see. I come from the farm, it doesn't matter to me. You can get together for work, rest and play. There are things to do no matter what they say. You can go to Marsh House for music, for vibes and for the musical rhymes. The manor is a school that used to be so cool. As kid cultures, the old factory was the place that we used to hang around. For chilling, for jiving and for the community living. But when we got older, we needed to move on to places new beyond the boundaries of the farm. From the farm where it is green and the grass is so clean, I am from the farm where from young to old, the people are bold. This is my story. I grew up on a farm. I grew up on a farm.
Thank you, Adil. I think your poem was better than mine. Like, I really think it was. Yeah, I do. So next time they ask me to read a poem, I'll just send them your way. So next we have another performance by NGYT. Please don't make me cry again. Like your last performance, I got teary-eyed. So NGYT is doing their second performance, which is a contemporary street dance.
I look up from the ground to see your sad and teary eyes. You look away from me, and I see there's something you're trying to hide. And I reach for your hand, but it's cold. You pull away again, and I wonder what's on your mind. And then you say to me, you made a dumb mistake. You start to tremble and your voice begins to break. You say the cigarettes on the counter weren't your friends, they were my mates. And I feel the colour draining from my face. And my friend said, I know you love her, but it's over, mate. It doesn't matter, put the phone away. It's never easy to walk away. Let her go, it'll be alright. So I still look back at all the messages you'd sent, and I know it wasn't right, but it was messaging with my head. And everything deleted like the past, yeah, it was gone. And when I touched your face, I could tell you're moving on. But it's not the fact that you kissed him yesterday, it's the feeling of betrayal that I just can't seem to shake. And everything I know tells me that I should walk away, but I just wanna stay. And my friend said, I know you love her, but it's over, mate. It doesn't matter, put the phone away. It's never It's gonna hurt for a bit of time. So bottoms up, let's forget tonight. You find another and you'll be just fine. Let her go. Nothing heals the past like time, and they can't steal the love you're born to find. But nothing heals the past like time, and they can't steal the love you're born to find. I know you love her, but it's over, mate. It doesn't matter, put the phone away. It's never easy to walk away. Let her go, it'll be okay. It's gonna hurt for a bit of time. So bottoms up, let's forget tonight. You find another and you'll be just fine. Let her go, it'll be alright. It'll be alright. It'll be alright. It'll be alright.
Oh, okay. Well, NGYT is doing street dance now.
The party is ending at 2 a.m. So whatever you must do it now.
Chain, getting paid over here. Chain, getting paid over here. Thursday, baby, bring it over here. Thursday, baby, bring it over here.
Level up, 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 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this sounds so yummy. No, you won't just yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this sounds so yummy. No, you won't just yummy, yummy all in your tummy.
They go boom boom dum dum. They go boom dum dum dum. They go boom boom. Go dum dum. Dum 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 dum.
Much respect. I ain't got no moves like them. Those moves were excellent. I was so surprised. Oh, and you're so small as well. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say. No, because I always have older people talking down to me because I'm like 16 and I'm so young and I don't know anything. So now we're going to have a word from Adil and Montel. So come on up. Don't be scared. I won't eat you.
Afternoon everyone, I just want to share a few words with you all. I personally want to say thank you all for coming and taking the time out of your day to watch us perform. It will not be the same without seeing all you here. I hope you enjoyed the event and the food and appreciate the work that's been done today. As you know, the project was about celebrating the diversity of Luton, and it's so nice to see people from different backgrounds coming together and putting a performance which we have put on for you. Secondly, I want to say thank you to Sixth Form College for allowing us their facilities for everybody to showcase their skills. Also, a big thank you to everyone involved in the Att10tive team working hard and making this possible. I feel we have all grown massively together since we've started, and it's been a great journey. Last, I want to say a huge thanks to Montel, who has given us the opportunity and platform to do this project, which we feel has benefited us and made a positive difference. So thanks again for everyone involved, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Neil. I've written down a few phrases down here. One of them is, variety is the spice of life. Now, didn't we have variety today? We had everything. We had a board out there, and on the board we were asking people what they thought of Luton. I bet you not many people were writing down the words that we had on today. We had on fantastic poetry and dance, and people doing photographic images and videos. We had people telling their stories and saying what they think of the town. Now today is a moment in time. For many people who I've spoken to on this journey, they were quite excited or sometimes really nervous about today. But I always remind them, that's a moment in time, and you have tomorrow and the next day and the next day. But remember, it's a journey whereby you're always learning. And on that learning journey, remember the people around you and the impact you have on other people's lives. You heard a lot today about Luton being a diverse town, and it is one of the most diverse towns in the whole country. You've also heard how proud Luton people feel growing up in this town. And this is one of the reasons why I do what I do. Rather than work in London or sometimes abroad, whereby you can get 3, 4, 5 times more money, I prefer to follow this other phrase which I hear all the time, grow your own. And I love people who are interested in growing people around them, making other people better, improve, provide opportunities for others. I like partnership working, as you probably picked up today, from many different organisations, and also providing opportunities to people no matter what barrier they think they face or we think we can put in their way. It doesn't matter about a person's age or language abilities or background. All that is part of your learning experience. I was very proud today in seeing how many of you grew and how you all performed on this stage when you came in front of everybody. I would like to give a huge thank you to everybody in this room for taking part and for coming along. And I want you all to give each other a round of applause now. We will continue to work in partnership with others. We will continue to find, help, support and grow people who are 50 or 15, people who live near or far, people from whatever background they come. We will also provide opportunities for people to make a difference to their communities. So again, thank you everybody for coming. Thank you.